and I try to put the volume up. It's still quite low, but anyway. And as you can see, it's in a movie theater, so it's actually quite dark. I still don't know how to operate this restream as a video, so I have to, I have to sort of turn it the other way. But yeah, you can pretty much see the match. Maybe that works because I've got the light coming from the cinema, and incidentally, there's no one in here, so I can kind of just stand in front of the movie at least at this point in time. Yeah. So I don't know where are we at in the match? I'm standing in front of the scoreline. Oh, it's just the first game. It's only just started anyway. I think it started 10 past. So,
get ahead right now because the wind is in its head right now.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I've got Rublev 50.0. It's basically 50-50. So I've got him 50.022%. If you were to go to the third decimal place, but yeah, again, I haven't updated my predictions. So these were done quite a long time ago before Divinar sort of hit the top 10. So although we've got obviously Rublev number 5 seed, so you would expect, I don't know, but again, Divinar, well, he's hit the top 10, so he'll probably be the favourite. Maybe I'll just sit down and we'll worry about the lighting later. Yeah. So you can see what it would be good. It's a pretty good setup here. I could have my laptop here and do predictions at the same time, but in fact I can't. Well, in fact there is no table, so maybe that's not actually possible. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could set it up. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. If I use it, I don't know, just use another seat. Yeah, maybe I could do that. I just use another seat as a table, and then just set up my laptop, and then I could do the updated predictions. I could just switch between the calculator and restream. So I guess that, I guess that would work. So maybe as we progress quarters to semis to finals, the only problem is I'm not going to be able to talk because there's going to be other people in this movie. If you know what I mean. It's not like when you're at the tennis and you're sort of sitting out the back and everyone's kind of just talking anyway. So no one's even you're not going to be distracting anyone. But in this movie cinema, it's pretty small. I don't know if I can just when the final's on, I'm just talking like this, giving commentary. Oh, I noticed there was a predictor that came across on the screen. Yeah, they do predictions, but they're just complete nonsense. I think it was at 59%. I don't know. I don't know who that was, but anyway, they're just nonsense. Don't take any notice of the predictions that this trainer I think give, because I've just got no idea. Yeah. But yeah, having this cinema, it's pretty good, isn't it? I've never come across a hostel that has like a full-on cinema. Yeah, check that out. It's pretty good, isn't it? Could be the best hostel I've ever been to. And they do have a rooftop spa. I haven't used the spa, but there is a rooftop spa. So I don't know, who was that? Who was that? I don't know. Was it Ken Rosal? I don't know. They were showing a player, a past player. No, I don't think it was Ken Rosal. But and so it looks like was it John McEnroe on commentary, mainstream commentary? Is it? He's pretty good, John Mack. In commentary, he's probably one of the better commentators. I don't know. Todd Wood. I think Todd Wood is just boring. Jim Courier, I think is good at interviews. But can't drop the Baron when it comes to tennis commentary, and just in terms of tennis knowledge as well. Just like study the game. Sure, I haven't exactly got to the elite level, but I've done research and I got a PhD in tennis. So really studied the game at a high level, and I continued on my research post PhD as well, and writing 2 books, of course, on tennis with all my results, just to summarize everything. I mean, will I be able to get the books published? I don't know. It's a process, like everything. So yeah, I guess De Minaur did knock out Djokovic prior to coming to the Australian Open. But yeah, that is over 3 sets compared to this over 5 sets. And when it comes to Grand Slams, Djokovic at Grand Slams, I mean, yeah, just his presence alone. Did a bit of study on that, yeah, just based on the ratings because of the psychological effect. You get an additional sort of 5% on average, just by being the higher ranked player. And also found that in the players, you get the most number of tie breaks in the first set, so they're pretty much evenly contested between the different ranks, but between the 2 players. And so what I think happens is that as the match progresses, due to momentum, and also sort of back to the wall effect. So when the better if the weaker player was to get up, say 2 sets, then it is that belief factor. Can you then knock out the top players, and that's where the back to the wall effect comes in. And so in terms of 5-set matches, the most number actually occurs as a result of this back to the wall, where the weaker player does get up 2 sets, and then the stronger player does actually win 5. And so what I think happens is I think the serve just drops off for the weaker player as the match progresses into the second, third, and so on. And that's why you get the most number of tie breaks in the first set. And so yes, it is sort of interesting, isn't it? So players can play that the weaker player can sort of compete with the stronger player in the first set. And so why can't they do that in the whole match? Well, yeah, it just comes down to kind of sort of psychological and a belief system, doesn't it? Can you sort of knock out those top players? And I guess at the end of the day, how do the top players then get to being top? Like they would have had to play, of course, weaker players. They would have had to play the stronger player as they were progressing, of course. So, but yeah, I mean, in terms of choking, Roger Federer, well, he was just basically choking. He was winning a higher percentage of points on serve compared to his opponents I calculated 18 matches. 18 matches that he lost in Grand Slams. He actually won a higher percentage of points on serve, which indicates that he was actually the better player. He was playing the better player, so he had the better statistics. He wasn't winning the matches because he was choking. He wasn't winning those pressure important points. 30, 40 in a game, points in tiebreak games. I'd have to look at his tiebreak record overall, and also when it comes to sort of close matches. And in fact, four of those matches actually occurred in finals. And typically that match against Djokovic, which went to 8-6 or something in the 5th set, and he was on serve. He was up 40-15, and he choked an easy overhead at 40-15 on serve to win the match. Chokes an easy overhead, and of course ended up losing that match against Djokovic. And I think he had about a 5%. There was a 5% discrepancy between the points won on serve. So Federer won 5% higher on serve compared to Djokovic. So that's just joking. And I remember when he was interviewed at the end of the match, he just said, "Oh, I'd rather just forget about that match." Um, and so yeah, and so three matches, four matches that he played in were in finals where he won a high percentage of serve, which shows you that yes, he should have actually won those matches, and he should be on 24 matches. So if he could handle the pressure, or the anxieties, then yes, he would have won those matches, and put him on 24, which makes sense. He's as good as Djokovic. In fact, he's probably better than Djokovic. Um, and so yes, he should be in 24, and six of those matches actually occurred on matches prior to the final, and so you'd and eight more matches there was a 3% difference, so he was just 3% lower. So if he could handle the pressure and again wasn't choking, he was guaranteed to win at least four matches, most likely 10 match. At least four slams, most likely 10 slams, and possibly even up to 18 more slams if he wasn't choking. Um, so yeah, maybe around about the 10 slams, and of course, Martin Navratilova 31 doubles, and that's what you would expect Federer to be up around about the 30 mark. So yes, he should have won another 10 more slams. Basically, he was choking. You compare that to say a Pete Sampras. I mean, how good was he on the serve, on the second serve, and serving out matches? Yeah, just brilliant. So he got the absolute best out of his game. And again, he couldn't even really hit a backhand. I mean, it's possibly the worst topspin backhand that I've ever seen in tennis out of all the players. So yeah, he could not match Andre Agassi from the baseline. But when it came to serving, you just couldn't break his serve. And even his volleys, yeah, they were solid, but they weren't a Pat Rafter or a Stefan Edberg like volley. So just the serve, and in particular the second serve, and of course what was hitting a lot of aces as well. Um, and so he could really only serve volley, which makes sense, and that's why he was serve volleying even on the clay, but just couldn't. It's very difficult to serve and volley and win on clay. I don't know. Has any player actually ever done that? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a player serve and volley and win on the clay surface. Um, um, and that's why I think he only made the semis. Actually, he didn't even make a final in the French Sampras. He only actually made the semis. I think those semis he lost to. I can't remember who he lost to. But Agassi did win all four surfaces. In fact, the first slam that Agassi won was on grass, just from the baseline, which is quite extraordinary. Agassi, a very good player, and I think played to the age of 36 and won that slam in the Australian Open quite late in his career. Beat I don't know who did he beat. Was it Soderling? Soderling in the final? I don't know. This is where I need I don't know, some sort of calculator just to bring up all these statistics as I think of them. It's just very difficult to remember, every single match and who won each slam. And you just need a database, and you just pull up the database or whatever result you need. Back to the match. Okay, Rublev. Yeah, so he's up a break 3-1. Yeah.
Doubles. Thinking about the win, settled in nicely. Keep it always pick it up. Guys,
Yeah, so it looks like it's the Todd Woodbridge and John McEnroe on commentary. Why is Dimon not wearing a cap at night time? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not night yet. I mean, yeah, it's only 7:30. I think it's saved light till about 9 o'clock. So he'll probably take his cap off, maybe up to the first set or set and a half. Mm. So I don't know. I don't know about the other Australians. I haven't. I don't know. I guess Demonard's the only one remaining. I don't know. Kyrgios, was he injured? I don't know. Tommy? Was Tommy in it? Maybe not. Let's get to qualifiers now, Tommy, or get a wild card. Yeah. I think it'd be good here in the final. A few more people, but I just not going to give. I don't know if I can give. Or maybe I'll just give the commentary in the ad break. I guess I could do that. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just give commentary in the ad break, and maybe I'll just bring in my laptop and just update the predictions and just give the commentary. Unless I'm carrying a table. I mean, I need a table. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to set up my laptop exactly. They don't design cinemas for giving, tennis commentary, obviously. iPad's kind of ideal. iPad is probably the best setup you could get. Yeah, I remember I was trying to stream this on. I was trying to take a. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't using a video. I was taking a live video and trying to stream it, but in fact, it was having copyright issues, and it wasn't allowing me to. Yeah, it was getting blocked. But now, because I'm just taking a video, I don't know. Is it going to get blocked? I don't know. So maybe that's what you do. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, you could just give commentary, And so people would just listen to this stream, whether it's through YouTube or Facebook anyway, and they have their own TV in the background anyway. So why do I need to actually stream the coverage? It's kind of counterproductive. I don't know. Maybe it's good to have it. The other thing is it's a bit difficult. Can't exactly keep it still. Maybe I get a stand, get like a mobile stand, so I can stream live coverage or something. It just takes a bit of time to get up to get you set up. Also needs to be mobile as well. I think it's pretty good being out at the tennis. It makes it a little bit more authentic. You kind of get behind the scenes footage of just could be a player walking past, or it could be something. And so you're not going to get that sort of stuff on mainstream commentary. They're not going to sort of film some sort of juggling act or something on the grounds of the tennis. You want to get this full sort of experience or the cultural experience. I don't know why they don't, sort of serve strawberries of cream. I guess that's a Wimbledon thing, but why not have strawberries of cream at the Australian Open? I mean, everyone understands tennis commenced with Wimbledon, and presumably strawberries and cream was a tradition back then. So not everyone's going to get to Wimbledon, so why not have strawberries and cream at the Australian? But yeah, you actually better off bring your own food and drinks. Well, when I say drinks, I mean sort of a water or whether it's a Gatorade or a soft drink or something into a tennis, because the food is just not very good and it's going to be expensive as well. And you will need a water. You will not last a whole day at the tennis with the heat without water. But yeah, I mean, you can get water on the grounds, but you might want to bring like a Gatorade or a soft drink or something.
It's fine.
Pretty good with this jacket I got. Yeah, it's kind of my tennis jacket. Well, I mean it's white. I was thinking whether I get like a Roger Federer. Remember when he walked into Wimbledon wearing that green jacket? I don't know whether I could adopt a bit of a look, just with the green jacket. And no, maybe the long pants, because traditionally they didn't play in shorts. They played in long pants. And of course, the ladies wore, I don't know, dresses and skirts and long dresses to play tennis. So it's obviously changed. I mean, I don't think you play tennis now, wearing a long dress or pants for men. It's just not it's just not practical. In fact, in general, I mean, do people actually wear? I don't know. Do people actually wear pants or suits? Like, do people actually go to work wearing a suit? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can just wear anything. I mean, why would you wear a suit? I don't know. It depends on your job, obviously, but it's pretty casual now, isn't it? You can see how things have obviously changed, and from the days of wearing a suit or a tie. I think it could be more just a jacket and a shirt rather than sort of a suit and tie. And even tennis. I mean, you don't see collared shirts. I mean, typically, yes, it was sort of collared shirts. And does anyone wear a collared shirt? I don't know. Do you have to wear a collared shirt at Wimbledon? You have to wear white at Wimbledon, but does it have to be a collar? I don't know what the regulations are now. Um, but I tend to agree. It does look better in white, doesn't it? Or maybe it's just Wimbledon with the way it sort of blends into the grass. The white does look good. Maybe it doesn't matter. And there's a break. So it's yeah. So it's now 4-3. Um, but also, I mean, you have to look at the advertising. Um, particularly surrounding the alcohol. I think the alcohol is very questionable. And you know how they had Wolf Blass, they had the Heineken. I didn't see that. I don't think they have the Heineken anymore. They used to have this Heineken beer garden, and so it is questionable. You are encouraging basically alcohol. Alcohol is a poison. It is a drug. It is a poison. And so why would you promoting this stuff at a sporting event? It doesn't really. I don't know. I don't believe you can promote smoking now. So why can you promote alcohol? I don't know. Things obviously change over time. It's a very political debate. Um, but I mean, you go to the tennis, hot day. You really want to start drinking alcohol? I mean, you're completely dehydrating already, and then what? And then you just have some alcohol. I don't know. It's a pretty crazy world we live in.
There's so even on the slice back, that's
That's the commentary. Oh, yeah. Someone just uh, Someone just walked in, but it's quite bright. Let's get out of this bright light coming from the movie projector. I'm kind of standing in front of the. Um, there we go. Seems to work. Yeah, turn it vertical. Yeah, maybe that's better. No, I don't know. Maybe I have to work out how Restream. Um, yeah, I think that's a pretty good picture. So it's almost half an hour now. I've been streaming.
catches up to it later in the match. Really needs to keep the focus. It seems to
The thing about talking is I'm holding the screen. I can't really. I guess concentrating on the match, which is if you only have commentary, it sort of makes sense to kind of watch the match, which is. But then again, I'm going to be doing predictions anyway, so do I really need to watch the match? I'm pretty much updating the scoreline and bringing up statistics for sort of match statistics, and maybe I don't actually need to watch the match.
put it on this one here. Rublev definitely stays so even though it's not on it, which he does so well, takes time away from you.
Seems strange, doesn't it? How you've got sort of an Australian playing it, but I guess it just shows you that there's no people I say hostels that they're not actually from Australia. People from Australia don't stay in hostels, yeah. Or I guess travellers, if you're travelling, why would you sort of, I guess, travel around Australia? Um, and so you could say, well, I guess with the tennis, you could just, I don't know, backpackers, they may come to Melbourne for tennis, but I don't know, it's obviously just not the case. I don't think I've actually bumped into anyone, yeah, from Australia in a hostel, just kind of traveling around Australia. And even when I was in New Zealand, was there anyone from Australia? I don't know. When I was in the US, there were a few people from Melbourne. I think I shared a dorm with a few people from Melbourne, but it's typically not the case. It's pretty much UK travellers from the UK, particularly in Melbourne, from London in particular. Um, but yeah, I mean the hostel is full, with the tennis. So I had to book this a while ago. Yeah, sort of knowing that it was going to fill up because the tennis it's the busiest time of the year. Um, Probably go out and get something to eat after this first set anyway. I had this fantastic India when I was at the markets at the Queen Victoria markets. I had this fantastic Indian curry. Um, wasn't that much, maybe $14. Yeah, the markets, the QV markets are good. It's cheap. It's cheap. Not only cheap food, but also I got this top $20. I don't know. I guess yeah. You could just stock up at the markets. Um, it's like I remember traveling. I was trying to Africa, and I went via Singapore, and there was kind of this Indian district. I think it was Serangoon Road, and it just had everything. Like you could just buy almost anything. Um, when you travel, you sort of need to buy stuff as you travel. Also, things wear out. Clothes are going to wear out. You have to buy things. And you want to get things, good stuff at a good price. So you need to sort of know where to go. Yeah, particularly if you're a backpacker. And I've been traveling now. It'll be 6 months. So I left 31st of July, went to the US, 3.5 months US. Although I did go into Canada and also I had to go to Colombia for the tennis conference, and then I came back and then went to Tasmania. Yeah, a couple of weeks Tasmania. I was just along the top rim, so I went Launceston, through Devonport, Latrobe, and then to Stanley. The nut, the kind of the what is it? Sort of a national park. It's sort of this mountain, and it looks like a nut, so it's called the Nut in Stanley. Yeah, definitely worth going to. Yeah, I came back from Tasmania, and then went to the Blue Mountains. And then did a bit of a road trip from the Blue Mountains. Where did I go? I went to I don't know, just did a bit of a loop down to I don't know Barrel, Nowra, and then sort of went back along the coast. And back to Sydney. So came back to Sydney New Year's Eve, and then left to go to Auckland New Year's Day. So it's got a 9 a.m. flight New Year's Day to Auckland, and then went up to the Bay of Islands for about a week. So I was about 2.5 weeks in Auckland, and then on Wednesday flew into Melbourne, and then went to the tennis, of course, on the Thursday, which was still the second round. So if you want to go to the tennis, yeah, the best thing is to at this train, get a ground after 5 ground pass. That is the cheapest, $29. But you want to go early. You want to go first or second round, because that's when you're going to get the most number of matches, and you're going to see typically top players on the outside courts. Second week, you're not going to get top players. They're going to play sort of juniors. They're going to play doubles on the outside court. So yeah, you want to go basically first week, and preferably first or second round, and also pick your day. Yeah, you don't really want it too hot either. Although you are going sort of after 5, but yeah, you wouldn't want on like a 35-degree day, for example. Even after 5 would still be pretty hot. In fact, even when I went, I don't know, it was pretty hot. It may have been sort of like mid 20s. It's, because you're in the sun, you're sitting in the sun. There's not a lot of shade. And the sun is just going to focus on you. It's like a magnifying glass. And yeah, you're basically just you obviously need cream. In fact, they now give you sun cream, which I think is pretty good. But yeah, if you don't wear sun cream, yeah, you could just burn. And that's the same, at any sporting venue. And it's a real problem. You go to the cricket, which is good, but you sit watching a test match for 8 hours. It is just hot. Yeah, it's because you're sitting there. You're not walking. You're just sitting there watching the cricket, and you've got the sun just focusing on you over a very long period of time. So yeah, sort of heading to a tiebreak, I guess. Which is again, that's what you expect. The most number of tiebreaks are played in the first set. The players are evenly contested. Although yes, Rublev did get up a break, and then Divina did break back. But there was quite a bit of study done. Typically, there's a lot of tennis statistics done by Magnus and Klassen from the Netherlands. Frank Klassen, I think has a website. Yeah, he has a website, and sort of it's a full credit. He sort of puts his sort of articles on his website, and sort of a lot of analysis on the various statistics. I guess I typically haven't done a lot of analysis on the statistics because I'm not. You have to sort of program. How do you have to get access to the data to start with, and then you have to analyze the data, which requires some sort of software or programming in order to analyze the data. It's a bit of a process. And I'm not typically a programmer. I'm basically a mathematician, but I can build my spreadsheets without programming, which is what I've done for the prediction model. Although I did get a program written in order to obtain the parameters, the initial values of each player winning a point of serve. So what is the chances of each player winning a point on serve at a particular point in time? So at the end of the match, you have to update your predictions based on the sort of using exponential smoothing, which takes into account what you predicted and what actually occurred. And so you're basically just using weighting. You're weighting it towards current form, and that is typical forecasting. You want to weight towards current form. At least it makes sense in sport. And again, going back to Australian Idol, when you vote, it doesn't take into account past data. All you're doing is voting on the current week. And so why would you then, because it costs money to vote, why would you then spend money every week to keep voting? And so what typically happens is you might vote and then you don't vote on future weeks, and so you're not, and so the outcome is not taking into account past data. and that's why it is just completely random in that the best musicians or singers, for example, could actually get knocked out, which is what typically happened with Ricky Lee. When Ricky Lee got knocked out of Australian Idol, was a result of the system of the voting system or the scoring system used. And a way to get around that, yes, you could have a cumulative system, which takes, you just add in the previous votes, or better is you use some sort of exponential smoothing. So you weight it towards current form, but then yes, you are using a modeling or mathematics as such, which, some people might think, well, it can be a bit of an issue. A lot of sort of I guess producers might be a little bit reluctant to start using sort of a level of mathematics and so on. And that's also typically the case with the ratings in tennis, that they don't use a piece of mathematics. That they just have a sort of a cumulative sort of system. And so it's not always the case that the better players have the or a rank number one, for example. So yeah, my prediction model. So yes, and it factors in court surface. So what I do, if for example, on a match that is played on a hard court such as the Australian, how do you then factor in the fact that how does that then affect the predictions on the other surfaces after the end of the match? It is quite a complex problem. So what I did is I used a particular weighting on the surface. So if they were to play on hard court or at the Australian, at the end I might use a weighting parameter of, say, I don't know, 0.02, and then on the other surfaces I just reduce the weighting. So it might be, say, 0.015 on say clay and on grass, and then because of the speed of the surface, and because there's a natural transition. So if you play best on, say, grass, which is the faster surface, then your next best surface is most likely to be hard court in terms of court speed, and then followed by clay. And so if a match was then to be played on grass and you had a weighting of 0.02, then say hard court might be 0.015. And so you just reduce the weighting, and then say clay is even less. That is why, and it actually seems to work reasonably well. And how did I then sort of optimize these weightings? Again, it's pretty difficult. So it was just sort of experimentation. I just picked some weightings and I just ran that system, and I just think, well, these predictions look pretty good using these weightings. So yeah, it was just experimental. It wasn't sort of say optimized using some sort of, I don't know, solver or something as an optimizer in Excel, in an Excel spreadsheet. Oh, okay. Rib them on the first set. They must have broken them in the first set. Yeah. So I'm gonna go out. No, I guess I'm gonna eat. And then maybe come back. If the match gets a little bit close, or I don't know. Maybe I'll bring in my laptop. I think that could work. And yeah, maybe I'll bring in my laptop, and update the predictions. Yeah. Okay.